Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News Channel. Another good day for crypto today. We've actually crossed 44,000 and we actually made it to 44.5 thousand before we come down a little bit. Now, the stock market overall was pretty flat. The NASDAQ was a little bit negative. It actually reversed back to slightly negative late in the day, and that's probably why we came down a little bit from the high. Right now, as you can see, everything is pumping. XRP is especially pumping because there's a Korean FOMO, probably a lot like last April. If you remember, XRP pumped up to nearly $2 before dropping back down to where it was originally. So that actually might be happening again. Where the top is, I'm not really sure. But once you see the volume kind of like start to level off and you see it not pump for a couple of days, probably want to reel back. You probably should still buy right now for XRP, but you should actually reel back once the volume stops pumping and the coin price stops pumping for a couple of days, and sell and get into other coins as well. So buy right now, probably sell a couple of days later. This happens like probably once or twice each year. This is the time it seems to be happening right now. Fairly similar to this time last year, slightly earlier than last year. But overall, right now, overall, Bitcoin's at 44,000. And we've actually reached the first of the major bull markers. Remember, I've been telling you for a long time that once the coin started dumping back in November, we never were able to again swing to the last plateau. We always recovered a little bit, but and then we went back down without recovering to the last plateau. Well, now we actually have gotten to the last plateau. This is the 1 month graph on Bitcoin. You can see the last plateau before we dipped down and the stock market collapse was here. And you can see right now we're basically at the top of the last plateau. That's never actually happened before. And you could even say this is forming an inverse head and shoulders pattern, which is actually fairly bullish. Drawing back on the 3 month graph, you can see we've actually reached the first plateau here. The second one's at around 52,000, and the third one is around 59,000. So obviously 59,000 is getting very close to the all-time high, but 52,000 is the one I really want to cross. But I am a lot more bullish now than I was a couple of days ago, because this has been my target. 45,000 has been my target for Bitcoin for basically since we actually started dropping about 3-4 weeks ago. So this is a very, very bullish sign. It's the first of the two major bullish signs that I'm looking for. We've actually achieved it. And the thing is, you can look to the stock market to look for guidance. As I said in my last video, earnings for DuPont, Walmart's going to matter because it affects the entire stock market. GoDaddy, I don't think that'll actually matter all that much, but especially consumer sentiment reports this month. And more than consumer sentiment reports, inflation reports for expected inflation reports for this month coming out Thursday and Friday. Those are going to be very, very important as well. So as for more of the technical analysis stuff, 52,000 is the next level I'm looking for. We could actually get there. We could actually definitely get there with more shorts liquidations. Shorts are piling up right now, but if we keep going up 2,000-3,000 more points, they'll definitely start liquidating. The ones with leverage will start liquidating, and if they liquidate, we could actually push to the $52,000 mark. So I'm pretty much halfway there between bullish and bearish. If we can get to 52,000, I will be most of the way there on bullish right now. That's where I am, and that's what the signals are actually saying. On the daily graph, pretty much all the signals have actually swung around. I do think the average directional index isn't that strong, only at 31, but both the stochastic and the commodity channel index are in sell. So right now, the oscillators are actually pointing towards sell, and that's because we think it's actually overbought. Now, watch this average directional index. If it starts to tilt higher, that means we might actually be seeing an overall positive uptrend, but we're not positive enough to see an overall positive uptrend right now because we've been down for so long. So we are kind of overbought right now. According to the indicators, the MACD level is on a buy as well. The momentum is actually on a sell right now because we've actually reverted about 500 points in the last couple of hours. So right now the oscillators are saying sell in the short term daily. Of course, the moving averages have tilted around. The 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50, they all say buy because we have such a strong turnaround. But the thing is, the 50 is still below the 200, which means we're still in death cross territory. We are definitely not in golden cross territory. But if we actually get past about 48,000, then we will be in golden cross territory. So look for that as well. We just need to liquidate a couple more shorts, and pretty much all these indicators will turn around. On the weekly, right now, the SMA and the EMA are very, very close to being buys. They're hovering between buy and sell. None of the oscillators are saying anything, so on the weekly, we're pretty much neutral. Basically, we're still on negative all the way down to the 50, but it's all within play in the next couple of thousand points. I do believe there is a very good chance that all these will actually turn to positive by the end of the month if the reports that I mentioned come out good, and if things like Walmart, DuPont, and Coke, Pepsi turn out very well. Bitcoin is very, very correlated with the stock market, especially the NASDAQ. And the reason why is actually quite simple. We've talked about how the same people that are investing in the stock market are investing in crypto, but more than that, we just got another Bitcoin mining futures listed on NASDAQ. So basically, obviously, a Bitcoin mining futures is going to be directly impacted by Bitcoin price. So not only do we have the same people buying both things, we also have companies that are dependent on crypto listing on the NASDAQ, which means it has a direct impact on the NASDAQ index. Because if a stock in the NASDAQ goes down, then the NASDAQ will be affected. If a bunch of these mining stocks come on, or a bunch of these tech crypto stocks come on, then they'll be directly correlated to cryptocurrency. So definitely right now, definitely watch the NASDAQ, definitely watch the NASDAQ futures for indications of how it's actually going to basically start tomorrow. If you look at the pre-market for tomorrow, the NASDAQ is slightly positive, but it really isn't that much of that's really not that much of an indicator because it's only plus 9.5%. Plus 9.5% does not actually mean much. 9.5 points plus 9.5 points does not mean much. So unless we get more positive, it is still kind of ambiguous right now. In terms of Asia, Nikkei is up, Shanghai is slightly down, Hang Seng is slightly down, not much there. And EU right now, DAX is up and FTSE up. So basically, if I take all the stock market signals together, I think it's slightly positive. So we might open on a slight positive note tomorrow. At least that's what it looks like. Obviously, keep track of it for the rest of the night. On the longer monthly graph, I still think all the indicators are mostly negative. We just haven't gotten high enough. But we only need about 1,000 more points or 1,500 more points for the exponential moving average and the simple moving average on the 10 to actually swing back up. So we're very, very close. And I think the EMA was actually on a buy at the highest point of today. So right now we're definitely teetering on the edge. If we can actually make it to that next step, I think we're going to be in very positive territory. The RSI, stochastic, and commodity channel index, they're all negative on the oscillators. So monthly right now, I don't know because like I said, the last 2 weeks of the month usually aren't quite as good as the first 2 weeks of the month because of the futures expiry. That obviously isn't always true. Sometimes the last 2 weeks of the month is actually great. But I would still be slightly hesitant to buy right now, but I'm feeling a lot better than I was before. On the daily, I do think this week is going to be pretty strong. The weekly, same thing. The rest of this week is going to be strong, but I'm not really sure about after Valentine's Day. So we will actually have to see about that. But overall, the health of the crypto market is tied to the health of the stock market. If we have like good a good jobless report, good sentiment report, and good inflation report, 5-year expected inflation, I do think we will actually enter the weekend on a positive note. Also, how many times is the Fed going to raise interest rates? None of the analysts expect them to raise it any more than 25 basis points on the first move in March. So if they do, that'll definitely draw us back in March. But if they say they're going to raise it like 7 times, that will obviously have the market snap back as well. So a lot of indicators to actually look for in the general economy. Technical wise, it looks like we're almost forming an inverse head and shoulders, which is pretty positive. And on the moving averages, at least on the short-term daily, we are turning around. And it only takes like 1,000 or 2,000 more points for us to completely turn around on a lot of the indicators. So we're definitely turning positive. Things are looking much better than we thought. And I think there's a good chance we'll keep going up this week. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button. And I will see you guys later.